on, like, I don't...
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We have such sights to show you.
Who's laughing now?
Not you crazy. I'll kill you all. Than you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
They're here.
Don't get me wrong. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. Happy New Year, and I'm being replaced. Sherry told me that I can't do the show anymore.
Happy New Year, guys. Welcome to another episode of Girls, Gore, and Gin. Tonight we have with us... Well, first of all, let's talk about the fact that we're all together.
In studio.
In studio together.
I like it.
We got Mr. Miguel here, Mickey Miggs. And then we have a guest, Miss Ashley. She's been on the show before. A few times, actually. She's been a guest. You guys might actually remember that she was a guest over when I was hosting the show by my fireplace.
I do like the fireplace.
It is pretty cool, but I don't know. I did have to make sure I built the studio for...
You literally built this city on rock and roll.
Oh, stop it. No, but yes, she's been with us before. She models for the Bakersfield Gentlemen every month. If you follow them, you will know that she does, was it the Ash of...
Oh, you're not on social media.
No, she's not on social media, but I see your picture every month.
Really? I didn't know it was on there.
Oh my gosh.
And we see that she, what is it called?
It's the Best Ash contest.
Best Ash.
So we put a picture of our Best Ash, which is you. And it's you with the cigar.
That's great.
And then they try to put their Best Ash, which is an actual cigar.
Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. Nice to know.
I will say.
I didn't mean to expose some behind the scenes things here.
No.
It's okay.
Frankie should have told you because he started that like a year and a half ago.
Oh,
Frankie doesn't tell me nothing.
So,
Frankie doesn't make drinks for me anymore, so.
That was the whole purpose. When we started this, and since it's a new year, we can go into this real quick.
We can talk about this. Girls, Gore, and Gin, I wasn't a part of the original crew. Or the second. Well, I mean, there was an original crew, and then there was a pair.
There was three.
And then I joined the pair, and we made it, all three of us, and then split off. And then it was two of us, and then split off, and it was just me.
I've been there the whole time.
And well, you're the producer. That's why I didn't count you as the girl.
That's fair. I appreciate that.
So, Frankie was making drinks for most of the beginning, up until we split off into the two. When we split off into the two, there were no more drinks, and that upset me.
Oh, no.
He did a pretty decent job for the most part. They were good mixed drinks. There
Right.
was different gins, or at least some other alcohol involved.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I do love gin.
But yeah,
Still.
I mean, you've seen pretty much since the very beginning, like the different iterations,
Mhm.
minus the very first, which that's probably a story for another day. That was literally a one and done, and we never got a guess. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about them too. Melissa and Molly, I miss you guys, but you know that's on you at that point.
You know,
Molly used to do my hair.
Molly's one.
It takes a while to come to a spot where it's finally like set in stone and
Mm-hmm.
going right. So I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have it any other way because we've been doing this for forever now.
Oh wow.
It's
now,
not
yeah.
stopping. So appreciate you guys being with us. As the title might have suggested, we were talking about a very recent case that only happened in November 13th to be exact.
Oof,
And it's-
right during my birthday, and that's a fucking bummer because this shit happened like on my birthday. They were all having fun and chilling out and doing things that college students do, and then turns out the day after I'm over here. I don't know, it just makes you think about people when you're doing something and then you hear that somebody's doing something around the same time that you are, or something happens to them around the same time that happens to you, and you start thinking about it more. And that really fucked me up. I was like, wow, I'm over here partying on my birthday and these kids are getting fucking murdered. And it makes me sad. It's fucking horrible.
That's a dark way to look at it. You shouldn't because you're never gonna find a day where it's nothing. Something's always gonna be bad.
No, obviously, something's gonna happen no matter what. But for me, I just really started going into the nitty gritty of this case today, and knowing that it was around the time last year, not long ago, when I was partying for my birthday, and these literal children, because your cortex isn't. Your shit isn't formed until you're about 25 or 24. And these poor kids, these poor children were being murdered in their sleep. And it just ruined my day. They're poor families. And and it is still an ongoing case. This shit is still going on.
I mean,
we know as much as we're going to talk about, but we don't know everything.
There's not a lot.
I mean, it's like you said, you have a page of notes. I've got some facts in my head right now. And then the victims, of course, we have some information about them. But I mean, what was it? 5 days ago they found the suspects.
Yeah,
and it's barely starting to get information
in a different state, I think, too. Not even where the murders happened, right?
No.
Didn't they have to fly him?
Well, what happened was it's in Moscow, Idaho.
Okay.
Not Russia,
I
just to be
guess.
sure.
I guess we'll get to that point when we get to it. So let me just go ahead and start it off then. I guess if we'll just talk about what happened. So the University of Idaho killings happened November of 2022, which was now last year. The victims were Ethan. Oh God, I'm so sorry if I say this wrong.
Their last names are very hard.
Chapin or Chapin?
I think we went
Chapin.
Chapin.
Yes.
I went Chapin.
Yeah, I don't know. Chapin, I think maybe. I'm so sorry. He was 20 from Washington, and he was a freshman.
That is very young.
Kaylee Gonsalves, which is like Joe Gonsalves, but different spelling.
Yeah.
She was 21, and she was a senior, and unfortunately the most brutal victim. Her murder was the most brutal out of all of them. Xana Kernodle was 20 years old, and she was from Arizona, and she was a junior. And Madison Morgan was 21, and she was a senior. So all four of these students, or at least 4 of the 6 students that were in the home at the time of the murders, rented this place. And it was by the campus, not far away.
About a 5-minute walk is what I heard.
Yeah, about a 5-minute walk. The girls lived there. We know that for a fact. All of the girls were there, and the boy, Ethan, he was there because he was a boyfriend of one of the girls, Xana, who was the 20-year-old from Arizona. November 12th, Ethan and Xana were at a frat party, Sigma Chi. They arrived, I assume, between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. And They returned home officially at 1:45 a.m. on November 13th.
Oh, real quick though, in between that though, they did get video footage of them stopping to get something to eat at a taco truck.
Right. This is what I got from Maddie and Kaylee though.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that was
reverse,
yeah. This that's why I questioned where were they. I don't know where these two were in between that time, but they obviously were not charged or questioned. Really, obviously they couldn't be questioned, but they weren't anywhere really that we know of in between those times. We know that they arrived between that time, and they got home around 1:56 a.m. That's all we know. Sorry, this is really difficult. These poor kids. It makes me really emotional. These poor kids were like, okay. So, they were at the frat party. They returned home at like 1:45 a.m., I believe is the exact time. Maddie and Kaylee were at a sports bar downtown called, what was the sports bar called? Corner Club.
Mm-hmm.
And that was basically like it's like downtown Bakersfield. Basically, like you know how you can always walk from place to place.
Yes.
Like you just walk around, things are going on. It's like First Friday and shit like that. Like stuff like that's really fun.
Even Idaho, I mean, if there's a college next to it, there's going to be some kind of downtown life.
Yes,
kids deserve that kind of stuff. Shoot, Arizona. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on in Arizona, but right next to Arizona State, it's very busy because there's a cigar lot. It's a whole other story, but these towns have that. That's even in the smallest town. Even if you're in somewhere I've never heard of before, Moscow, Idaho, you're gonna have bars and you're gonna have these guys, doing their thing.
Of course, I always assume that, especially here. And when we went to Texas, there was like a strip of like little bars here and there, and like anytime. Joey and I went to Sacramento years ago for my, I think, 29th or 30th birthday. We went to Sacramento and there were just bars all up and down the street. It's like just everywhere you go, there's always bars, right?
Yeah.
Anywhere in America, you're going to find them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they went. Maddie and Kaylee were at a sports bar, like I said, called the Corner Club. And they were there probably about from the hours of 10 a.m. to whenever they got their, what did they call it? Private party.
Oh, okay.
Basically, they got not an Uber, but I guess they maybe had a friend that they got a ride from, or somebody. They had to have gotten a ride from somebody. I don't know. Maybe somebody they knew, maybe somebody they didn't know. It just said private party.
Yes, that makes it difficult to talk about it because there's so many details that are they're not hiding them. It's obviously not like a conspiracy. It's just we don't know them.
Right.
But like we said, there's a good window there where we don't know who they interacted with, and there's something in there that could have been what conspired to the next situation, which is obviously the murders.
Right.
But I don't know. I really don't.
I have no idea. Okay. So after they were actually seen on footage, like a live stream on Twitch, there was some footage of them at a food truck called the Grub Truck. They were like giggling and laughing and like having fun, and then it showed them like getting their food and eventually leaving.
Oh, that was a Twitch thing?
Mm-hmm.
I remember the food truck, all right.
No, that's how they knew that they were there.
Oh, I just
because there was a live on Twitch, and that's how people were able to like watch the Twitch stream and identify those girls like maybe later. Because some people like subscribe to things, and I don't know if they were able to save the live or whatever, but a lot of people screen record
do.
nowadays.
Yeah, you can.
So was the food truck the one that was streaming
I think
through
so.
Twitch? Because I've seen
I
that
think
before.
it was the-
They do it
yeah,
at
yeah.
bars making
In
drinks
Vegas.
and- yeah.
We walked by there during, oh my god, when was it? I don't remember. But whenever we went to Vegas the last time with Joe, I remember walking by one of those places that I later saw live streaming. I'm like, I've been to that bar. And they were live streaming the whole time. I might be on the internet somewhere.
I really hope it was in the beginning part of the night then, because I don't remember that.
No, it was during the day, but I remember, I don't know. We went by there a bunch of times. It's those bars on Fremont that like kind of hang out and they're like,
Oh, okay. So they have like the cowboy themed one in front of Binion.
yeah. All of those places, they live stream. Did you know that? They always live stream
Yeah,
now?
I feel like it's more like because
It's
I
on
love
TikTok.
people watching. That's
Right?
my
Yeah.
favorite thing.
Mhm.
And I mean, if I want to people watch,
Mhm.
I'll watch those. But also, I put it on kind of as background music to fall asleep too. Like not music, but you know what I mean.
Right.
It feels like
That
I'm not
hum-
alone.
That hum
Yeah.
of something happening.
Yes.
And it's like, I wonder what it feels like to actually pass out in front of the bar. Like, with the music on.
Oh no.
And then you don't have to actually.
I
do it.
don't need live footage of me doing that though.
Actually, that actually brings up a really good
That's
point.
terrifying for me.
Fremont itself has gotten a little dangerous. Like there was a shooting the day before New Year's Eve on Fremont
Just recently?
this year, yeah, or I guess last year now.
Well,
you know what I'm saying.
That
yeah.
sucks.
If they have those live streams, because I remember what we're talking about now because I follow Binions. I love that place.
Uh-huh.
They might actually have footage on Twitch then of the shooter. That's oh my goodness.
Or
Sorry,
on
that's
TikTok Live, because TikTok Live, you can watch the shit too.
Don't download TikTok, people. It's
Too
all
late.
it's doing is malware and
Too
following
late.
you. It's literally tracking all your information.
As if the iPhone doesn't already track your information.
It's true.
Come
This
on.
is
Yes.
a US based company technically. TikTok is Chinese owned. I'm gonna let an American steal my information.
Who do you
But
think
Apple
made your
What do you call it?
iPhones are made in China.
Steve Jobs.
No,
made every
we're
single one
gonna
of-
gang up on you on this one.
Steve Jobs made every single one right before he died. And he's like, okay, here's the iPhone 65 Plus.
All right, no.
Well,
We both disagree on this one.
yes. And to be fair, TikTok, I've learned a lot of stuff on it because it's such short videos that you get
True.
little tidbits here and there. Actually,
True.
there's another thing that I learned on TikTok about this we'll get into later, but
Oh, that's right. Okay. So I can't get too mad at TikTok because I actually did
it's got some good stuff.
legitimately helped us right now. Like, not even like, oh, that'll help later down the road. It's like right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let
you're
me
both
finish.
right. Gosh, dang it. Keep
God
losing.
damn it. Oh my god, these poor families
Mm-hmm.
over here listening to us giggle and shit.
See, Joel knows
Yeah,
what's
I
going
want to
on.
kill myself.
Eric.
Hi, Joel. Thank you. I just said I want to kill myself, and Joel pops up like, oh my god, never mind. Anyway. Okay,
I don't know, Joel.
shush your mouth. Okay, no. I no jokes. I do feel bad for these families.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely,
I want to say that because you never know who's going to come and try to pick apart this shit.
No, the
But I-
levity is just for the fact that it is a show.
Right. This is heavy shit. We're trying to make it. We're like trying to get through this.
I'm not trying to do whatever that was. I never want to do that.
We're trying to get through this without wanting to literally kill ourselves.
Well, these children
Um,
they're young too. Like at that age,
21.
you feel
21.
like, oh,
They're
I'm
barely
an
able to
adult.
drink.
But I mean, imagine the parents, the grandparents. That's their babies.
Yeah. Like you,
So it's upsetting.
my sister just turned 18. She doesn't look older than 12
No,
to me.
but she
No.
feels like
But
she is.
she could take on the world. She's
Uh-huh.
they're invincible at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so sad. These parents just resigned that my children are gonna go on and they're gonna live the lives that they want to live. They're going to college. Good for them. Like, you want the best for your kids, and then this happens to them.
And technically, that is the best life. They're going to higher education at the time, meeting people,
Yeah.
socializing,
Mhm.
networking. That's what you want them to be doing. It's not like they were just getting drunk and not having future plans.
Yeah.
They were seniors and juniors in college. There's nothing more
Seniors,
than
you
Yeah.
can't be a senior and not graduate and do well
Yeah.
in your classes. Like these girls were gonna be something.
Yeah, they had their head on their shoulders. They just happened to have fun on the weekends or whatever. They were on break. Like that's what you do. When
Well,
you're
They
on
were
Got
old
you.
they were
Yeah.
barely old enough to drink. They were going out and experiencing.
Well, I know no one here is ever
The
underage drank, so that's, so.
I'm not saying that.
It's a totally normal.
I'm just saying
Sure.
like they're actually able to legally go to bars and like hang out with their friends and do all the things that they wanted to fucking do as 21-year-olds.
Let's get back to the facts of it. This is making me sad now too. Just thinking about it more and more. It's just like
I know it's
that is a
fucking
bummer.
awful, but
Interesting.
that's where we're at. So
It's true though. It's all true.
all right, so Maddie and Kaylee were at this. Well, okay, let's go back to my notes really quick. I'm gonna reference my notes because so I don't go off the rails. Okay, so 4 of the students lived in the rental home. The ones that were unfortunately murdered. The girls lived there. Ethan was Xana's boyfriend. November 12th, Ethan and Xana went to a Sigma Chi party. Just doing college shit, going to parties and doing the frat thing. They arrived probably from between 8 and 9 p.m. and they left and returned home about 1:45 a.m. on November 13th. Maddie and Kaylee were at the downtown bar, like I mentioned earlier. They were at the Corner Club in Moscow. They were there from about 10 p.m. and they left there about 1:30 a.m. on November 13th. There were, like I said, there was a live stream footage of them being there at the taco truck called the Grub Truck. They were laughing and giggling and getting their food. They had no problems. They didn't stay long. They left at about 1:41 a.m. and they lived about 4 blocks from the taco truck was about 4 blocks from the bar. So it wasn't that long. They probably walked there and then about a mile away was their home. So they probably, like we do downtown, we get an Uber, drop us off at a bar, and then we walk wherever we want to go. Yeah. And then eventually we Uber back home. So that's what these girls did responsibly, right?
Yeah.
Did you mention that there was evidence that they did Uber?
Mm-hmm.
You said,
at first it said that they Ubered. Well, I mean, we don't know beyond when they got the ride home. The ride home was from a private party. Everything before that, they said they were Ubered.
Okay, so
that makes sense.
Whoever took them home was probably maybe a stranger that they met.
Hopefully
or maybe
not.
an acquaintance.
I was about to say that in that well,
because the police said that it was a private person. So it was not Uber, it was not Lyft or anything. Right. It was somebody that they either met or that they knew. But those people, those people haven't been mentioned at all. All they said was that it was a private person.
Okay. I wonder if they know. If they know who it was and they just haven't released it, or
which is weird because obviously if we have one person who's involved with all these things, how would this person matter? Like, unless they were the ones who were to say, hey, this is their house.
That's what's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These girls are drunk. Maybe I can get their door unlocked for you. We don't know because this person's an unnamed party, basically. We don't know who they are. We still don't know who they are. So all the students were basically home at the rental by 1:56 a.m. So there were 4 that were murdered, but 2 of them were not. So there were 6 people total in the home.
Yes.
2 of them were uninjured. They were on the first floor. There are 3 stories, basically, to this home. There's a first floor, second floor, third floor. Everybody on the first floor got home by like 1 a.m., which is crazy because they weren't hurt.
Well, the thing is, though, too, when they explain the house, it's a partially underground first floor. So if you look at some unfinished basements, like this is not really a California thing, but there are a few here, and I lived in one for a while, where half the building is underground, and it absorbs, a lot of sound. So even if someone opens the door, like in my apartment, I opened the door, you could barely hear it open. So if someone were to go in and say they were either the same as the rest of the house, partying that night, a couple of drinks, even if they weren't, there's a good chance if you're in enough sleep, you're not going to hear someone go past you into second floor or into the third floor to where the other victims were, or the only victims in second and third, no one in the first.
Right.
Do you know if the door is even on the bottom floor or if it's on the second floor to enter the actual house? Because I've seen places where
you're in the middle.
You come in the front door, in the
kind of like a parking garage.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Where how it goes like this.
Yes.
We're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, but the back of it, I've seen this. My aunt's house has this, where the whole back is like the backyard area, but the front is the second floor.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, honestly I don't know about this house though.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
curious.
It could make sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
It's one of those other factors. Like I'm sure there's a tour of the house. Well, not yet because it's all blocked off still.
Well,
like,
people would have to know. You could probably see it on Google Images, like Street View or something.
Or Zillow.
Something.
Yeah.
I mean, they have.
I mean, there's
images.
floor plans like online for shit.
I hate that. My first thought was that Zillow was like, I wonder what the Zestimate is.
Zestimate? Fuck off.
That's a real term, all right? That's a Zillow term. That's not my fault.
Oh my god, let me get back to this shit. Okay. All right. So, like I said, all the students are home by almost 2 a.m. on November 13th. Kaylee, it turns out, had called her ex-boyfriend about 6 or 7 times. I mean, it's in the news, people are saying 6, people are saying 7. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know why that's important to people.
She
but
called multiple times.
Yeah, she called about, I've been hearing mostly 6, but Wikipedia said 7. So we don't know what the fucking actual truth is.
I wonder, I'm sorry, I'm curious if they have like any type of toxicology reports on like how much they have drank while they were out and about.
Oh,
I would be curious about that, because that could also go on how these people didn't wake up with all of this happening. I mean, if I drink,
alcohol thins the blood. So
Yes.
if you're getting stabbed and you're fucking drinking like crazy, this shit's gonna pour out of you like, I would assume. I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about oxidized blood.
But what would you do, waking up from that? Like, that is a shock. You aren't ready for something like that. So what goes through your head, especially with somebody so young and vulnerable? What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, what do you, anybody waking up being assaulted, being stabbed, you're not gonna spring into action,
right?
Especially, like you said, they're drinking, they're losing blood very quickly, and you're in the middle of being murdered. There's not much of a chance, and I think the toxicology might help. But I was thinking, because some of the bodies were in the same bed, I think that Ethan and was it
Ethan and his girlfriend,
Xana? Yeah, Xana.
Xana.
Were in the same bed.
And then Maddie and Kaylee were in the same bed as well because they were best friends.
So at the end of it, like, this is kind of messed up, but that much stabbing the blood intermingle, so you're not going to get as good of results as you hope. Like either DNA searches, like they talked about that, like people were going in and out of that house for parties and stuff because they did have their own home, so people were, having fun. Any DNA they find can be very inconclusive because just how many people are in the house. So it's very rough.
So unfortunate.
Even if police get something like, we definitely have some touch DNA, it doesn't really matter too much because they can just say, no, that's anyone who came through the house. I was invited there another day. Especially
I gave him a hug.
Yeah, anything. So.
Or I just brushed my hair in their bathroom.
Yeah. Any of that, and it all kind of goes out the window. It kind of happened a lot with the oh my gosh, what case was it? I think it was the Casey Anthony one.
That's what I was actually thinking. Yeah,
because a lot of that DNA stuff, especially touch DNA, where it's just a little bit of skin cells, they're like, well, they could have been there because they've always been together because she takes care of her daughter. It's like that's not how it works, but all right, because people don't fully understand that stuff yet.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a whole sidebar thing
no,
I just thought of.
No,
it makes sense though.
Yeah.
So, okay. All of the students, like I said, were home by a certain time.
By before, a little bit before 2 at least.
And Kaylee called her ex-boyfriend, for whatever reason. We don't know why yet. We don't know at all. Maybe she was being stabbed. Or maybe the person that was stabbing her was calling her ex-boyfriend because, like I said, I think it was Kaylee was the one who received the most brutal stabbing. And if this person was stabbing them between a certain time and a certain time, but then again,
they would have had to have known her in order to keep calling, if that's the case, to keep calling the ex-boyfriend. Which would make sense as some type of cover-up.
Especially, like you said, the private drive home, someone they might have known and trusted.
There would be no text messages if they were out and about. Oh, hey, I'll take you. You guys want to go home? I'll take you home. My car's right here, you know?
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. So, I guess they didn't hear anything from anybody. None of the students. And I guess they were all murdered between 3 and 4 a.m. But they didn't hear from anyone until about 11:58 the next morning because they're all out drinking until almost 2 a.m.
They're sleeping.
They're, they're fucking asleep and they're just being teenagers. And if I'm out late drinking, like I'm gonna sleep late too. Like it only makes sense, But I guess, they didn't call anyone and until then, and then whoever called, as far as we know, only called about an unconscious person. That's all we know. We don't know any details.
That's the same thing I heard too. But you know what? If you see someone like that and they were your friend, I get kind of going into shock and just.
I think they might be hiding details to see if they can find.
I
if they're like maybe if there's more than one person, more than the one person that they caught, they might be trying to hide things just so that they can maybe see if there's anybody else out there who might be involved, because they do that a lot. Cops do that all the time.
It's smart in that case, though.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Especially because it's like viral on TikTok right now, which is. Jesus Christ. Lay off TikTok. Let the cops do their fucking job.
Look who was
you
right
can't
after
hide anything, though. Everything is so at your fingertips that it's all over.
Yep.
Once it's out, it's everywhere.
That's the horrible thing, though, is because these kids don't... The ones who are spreading all these things, well, I saw this and I heard about this and I dude, you were in the vicinity, like barely. and you don't know any of these people,
Well,
and you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
The thing is, this
Like-
this hasn't started because of TikTok or Instagram or social media. People have been doing this since true crime started. Like when there was a serial killer woman in the Midwest, Belle Gunnis.
That's
and when
right.
they found her,
Bail.
all the murder.
Bail.
Well, once they found out they were digging up bodies, people from all over the state started coming to watch them dig them up. Like they traveled on foot, in cars, and whatever, and they were watching and trying to get souvenirs from the farm.
You know what it is? Is because they don't have public executions anymore.
I'm saying, like,
Bring back public execution.
I am all for that.
from day one, we've always been obsessed with killers, serial killers, murders. That's never changed.
Not even just that. I think it's mostly because we want to see the people that did it to suffer the consequences. People love to see people suffer for the things that they've done.
I don't even know if it's that.
I think part of it is.
I think it's Schadenfreude. It's where you're just glad it didn't happen to you.
No.
And people go watch that.
I mean,
stuff.
yes, that is true.
It's
I mean, there is a part of me that feels like people are like, oh yeah, dude. Just like crows in the wild. They see something happen to one crow, or they see it like get run over by a car, and then all of them are like, oh, we're not gonna go by the road anymore.
Yeah,
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
there's a learning
it's
thing,
just it's just more so of like scare tactic, I think.
No,
But do you think somebody with such a sick mind like that could even be influenced by scare tactics?
Oh no. Yeah, I think
No,
that's
he
why it still
says he's a
happens.
fucking sociopath at this point. Not sure if he's a psychopath. He
If
hasn't
you-
been fully
If you
diagnosed.
look at the guy's face, though, he looks very much like Dennis Reynolds from Always Sunny. So
I thought he, like I said, I thought he looked like Ted
oh,
Bundy.
we're gonna binge watch a whole series now. Oh gosh, never mind. Show's over. Going Always Sunny. No, it's literally like a guy who. It's a funny show, but he's still a psychopath throughout the entire.
What
thing.
is this guy's name that got caught? What is his name?
Brian Coburg or Coburg.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure I got that correctly.
Yes, I would like to know because I forgot. And then we have a few minutes if anybody wants to maybe kind of figure out how they caught him. Because
I
Yeah,
heard
Brian
that he
Coburg.
flew or drove to his parents' house, and that's where they found him.
kind of like
out
the
of state.
Brian Laundrie dude. Like
Yes.
Brian Laundrie. He would like, Mommy, Daddy, help me.
Right?
All right,
I
well,
just see this thing right here saying that there's a live update from the New York Times of the roommate of murder victims saw a black clad figure in their house. I don't know about that.
that
I don't
sounds
know.
so suspicious. Like, what is the roommate doing?
That's a little weird. That throws everything through the loop if that's the truth.
Or if they're just trying to add stuff to it so they look less guilty. 'Cause
Well,
they're-
it's the New York Times. It has to be the truth, right?
why you do that when I'm drinking? Why you do that? I'm with Joel.
They would never lie. What are you talking about?
The media
It's
is
the news.
the only media that won't lie to you is right here. Because I don't have enough imagination to lie. Nor is anyone going to pay me to do it. So
I literally could not lie. Even if I was telling you an untruth, it's not because I have like malicious intent. I cannot lie. I literally just have wrong information.
no, I get that. Yeah, that's what it is. Boom. I
Just
like that.
throw something into the loop to get us the clout, you know,
That's funny.
going everywhere. Oh, well, we saw on Girls, Gore, and Gin that they threw this out.
That's so funny. No, I would literally never say anything just because like I wanted to push it out there. Like
Mhm.
if I believe it, then you guys are hearing it. And if it's wrong, it's not a lie. It's just whoops.
Misinformation is the best. No, I will say this. I do love conspiracy theories, though. But if I don't believe it, I'll let you know. Like, I think this is horseshit, but this is what it's saying.
Right. Same.
Exactly, yeah.
Mhm. And I always say I don't believe it, but whoops.
This is what we're being told, at least. Like, I think they found their guy.
I think so too. I think this guy's a fucking weirdo.
If we go into Coburn a little bit, he was acting very suspicious when they actually picked him up. The body cam got very little from the officer who picked him up.
Mhm.
The car matches the description of the one they saw outside the house on the night of. This is all like extremely circumstantial too, but he is a PhD major going into criminal justice.
Mhm.
He was on Reddit apparently asking people.
He was also a TA for the college, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
As far as I know, I don't know if that's 100% true, but like I said,
at that once you're a graduate, though, a lot of graduates, or if you're moving on to your master's or doctorate, you do that work, so you can get more one-on-one with the teacher or the professor in that case.
Yeah.
So it makes sense he would be, but he was a weird guy. He was asking if anyone on Reddit had killed anybody and how they felt about it. Like that was.
Supposedly he had his own Reddit page where it went by like Papa. Oh shit. Papa something.
They already took it down. You're not gonna be able to find it.
No, I just want to try to find the name of it.
Oh, okay.
But he did like an AI of himself to make it the profile photo. And he was literally in the forum asking questions like, what do you think about the case? What do you think about what do you think about them having this, and this evidence and whatever? Like literally like trying to get.
Why would he want to even put himself out there?
I don't know. It's not 100% confirmed that it was him behind the profile, but it's speculated that he was the one behind it, asking people what they thought about the case and trying to like get some like sort of sick like gratification off of people like talking about it.
Well, they are even trying to compare him, I heard, to like the BTK killer, where he had the other major, I think it was like a math major or something, or not him, him and somebody else, the Unabomber, how he had, like, they're comparing them to these people because it's almost like when you have a major like that, how do you not become obsessed with that kind of topic? And I mean, going into it, you obviously have an interest in it beforehand too, but I did hear them comparing him to those people as well.
That does make sense. I mean, Kaczynski was the Unabomber.
Yes.
Yeah, he was very much like a recluse and someone that no one can really get close to because his brain just worked that way. That's why he was so good in his math.
Yep.
And
I mean, he even wrote like his own little manifesto, as people call it.
Read it.
Not yet.
It gets very
scared.
into what we're dealing with, like right now with the tech taking over too much and how there's no more anonymity. Now we were talking about like the moment it's out there, it's uncontrollable. It's always out there. He actually brings that up in his manifesto and how we're all being controlled by technology now.
Oh, well, he wasn't wrong.
He's not too off. I mean,
hooray. I mean, look at technology. Thank you.
Even Jeffrey Dahmer, he was like, he said, somebody asked him, if you got released, would you do it again? And he is like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I blame his parents. And I blame I don't give a shit. I blame his parents. And I blame the military.
Oh, that's a whole other bag of worms.
Well, they don't care.
I blame him. Because he's like, I mean, as much as like my parents could mess up raising me, they're never going to chop off a penis for me. I have to do all the work. So it's your fault.
Right. But I don't know.
I don't blame like.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Like parents could be bad, but there's a lot of people with bad parents who don't, boil people. So their skin
I didn't say he was 100%.
No, I blame him.
I didn't say that they were 100%, like I said. But yeah, I don't 100% blame him. I think it's like nature.
It does fit because there's a lot of factors that
nature versus nurture. I choose nature and a little bit of nurture. I think his parents were fucking weird.
They weren't not weird.
I think now might even bring a good time to bring up that TikTok thing I was talking about.
Yes.
So what I saw was that there is this woman who claims she is a psychic on TikTok,
Mhm.
And she straight up says that she knows for a fact the professor did it. Now, how I know it's going this far is that the professor said he was out of town with his family, and now he's apparently suing the woman that claimed that for defamation of character. So I don't even know if he's necessarily being looked at, but it is kind of interesting that somebody who claims to be a psychic, who knows? I mean, there's a lot of people that claim that out there, but like, why would she even bring that up as a possibility?
I mean, if he was really a TA, maybe she kind of sensed that.
And then just
What if he even had a hand in it, in like,
both.
this is what you could do, like almost speaking into his ear?
You
know,
maybe
that-
you think that she was like, do this,
Right?
It's
See
possible.
if you can get away with it.
I mean, there's been a lot of like psychics in cold cases, like together.
Yes.
And this one's not so much a cold case because it's happening right now. We can see it developing, but the Green River Killer. Like, if you guys have heard that case,
I actually haven't.
it's a
Neither
gentleman
have I.
who was in and
I
out
don't remember.
of psych wards. But they had, before they caught him, they brought in a psychic
Medium,
who identified him almost to a T. But then she said, I don't think it's him. I think it's this other guy who she also mentioned who had the exact same motive and opportunity, but they never looked into that. So to this day, a lot of people think they just pinned it on the first guy to get the case over with, while the medium actually picked the right person, just got the information wrong the first time. Say, no, this is the proper, what you should be looking at.
Right.
But since they already had the case closed, and it was a lot more, I guess a lot less work to just stop where they were at,
well,
the
and
person
you know
might
what?
have went free.
I don't think these police officers, the investigators, I don't necessarily think that most of them are out to get like the right answer. If they could pin it on somebody and nothing else comes up, they're like, job done, good to go. We got him on this, charge him, and we're done.
Right.
You know?
It's not crazy because it's happened before.
Right.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense if they just get this guy, this one person, the 28-year-old that they were arrested. And I mean, who knows? We all know that throughout history, it's been proven, but nobody does anything about it, where one person acts or a few people act on one person's order. And, like I said, vice versa. Just look at Charles Manson. He ordered all these people to do these things for him. And it's like, what if this dude was not acting alone?
It's very possible.
Like you said.
Well, his professor was very psychologically
That's what I'm saying. Like you
smart.
said with the professor, like what if the professor was like just whispering little things in this person's ear?
Right.
What if it was not?
And
like
then
we don't
telling
know.
his family, oh, we're planning a vacation. Let's go at this time. Let's get out of here. Come on, pack your bags, kids. You know, it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's crazy. And
Don't
it
sue
sucks
me.
because it sucks because we don't know what's going on, and there's only so much that the media even has access to.
Yeah,
we're not going to get access. He just got arrested.
This is so new.
Yeah, literally, he just got into Idaho because he had to be extradited over state borders today. It was earlier today.
They found him with his dad.
Yeah.
I guess he got pulled over with his dad somewhere. I don't remember where, but
in a different state.
It was on the East Coast. Like it was a distance away.
Yeah, it was.
And honestly, if I'm in that much trouble, I guess I'm gonna call my parents first too.
I wonder what
the
state
fact that
he
his
lives
dad
at,
was
his
with
parents.
him.
His parents, I'm not sure, but I
If
know
they live on the East Coast and they were just around there, or if they lived somewhere else and then they drove to the East Coast.
went straight to
You
him
know what I
and
mean?
booked it.
I guess we'll find out when the fucking trial starts because it's soon.
He was not going to the same school, so we just make that clear though too. So he was across the border, but where Moscow is, to his location is about a 10-mile difference.
Mm.
So it's
They're close.
That's very close still.
They have to know. I mean, I'm sure with it being, college area, there's one party area and, like the downtown type of thing. They probably all go to this. This is a place to go, walk around, go to your taco trucks and all that. But they probably all intermingle regardless of the school. They're right there.
Oh, easily, yeah. And it's such a small town.
Especially if these girls in particular who were out were seniors. They had been in school for a while.
Yeah.
Like, they've been doing this for a minute, even though they're 21. We don't know exactly when they turned 21. I mean, unless we look up their birthday, but I mean, that, who knows? They could have been out partying. They were in college for what?
No, 4 years.
Yeah, college is 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so what? They were like 17, 18?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not unheard of for you to go to a bar when you're 18. Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean,
well, they probably just
and
met
it's
up,
a sports bar too, by the way. So a sports bar doesn't necessarily mean bar. Like, if they sell food, I'm sure like people underage can go in. Even though they were 21, like, they've probably been going to this place for a while. They knew the area. They're like, all right, we're going to go to this place, and then we're going to this place, and then we're going to go home. Like, they had been probably doing for a while. Yeah. They felt fine, and then all of a sudden, like, this person just comes in and...
Well, I think Richard solved it. He says blames Miguel because he looks suspicious. I was nowhere near. I can have that alibi. November was here.
November 12th was my birthday.
I
I know that I was partying here.
I was doing something.
I don't know.
I was at work or something.
I was in Tennessee.
So you were way closer than we were, technically.
I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Was it ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend? Who was she calling that night? Who just had to get a new car because they ditched their old
new phone number?
Totally ditched the old car. Like, I need to get something new when I get to California.
Should I
haven't
step
had my car
out?
since
Like,
September.
what's
I'm
going
just gonna
on
go
here?
ahead and leave you here by yourself.
I'm gonna step out.
Anyway, though,
This has nothing to do with me.
the bottom line is that it was not solved yet. It really is. We don't know if he was by himself, like you guys said.
We're gonna the trial is coming very soon. He was just recently arrested.
I think we're gonna have like at least 6 to 9 months before we get any kind of trial.
Oh, not even just that, but like I don't know. I think all some shit's gonna come out. People, as much as I believe that lawyers are there to protect you, I think they also fucking leak shit.
Oh, easily.
I don't know. That's just me, but I don't fully trust lawyers either.
I wouldn't.
I think lawyers might actually put information out there to get the media into their case, so that if they win,
it's got to be a shitty job to be a public defender because you are usually defending people like this versus taking on other cases where it could be someone.
Are you pointing at me?
This guy versus.
I'm just kidding.
You could get a whole bunch of boring cases of like a DWI or something. Okay, this guy did it once, sorry, I'll never do it again. And all of a sudden, you stumble upon you have to defend a guy who was accused of killing 4 people and has been in school to learn about the criminal system. So it doesn't exactly bode well for him.
Oh man!
If you're a public defender, you're a piece of shit, basically.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
It's gotta be a rough job, and I get
I'm
why.
sure, yeah.
I get why it would be that thing in your head, like when you go to the DMV, or which really sucks is like the foster care system.
I have a friend who is actually going through a DV case that I mentioned weeks ago. A friend of mine, and she had a public defender at first, and it was really rough.
Not good.
Yeah,
rough.
Again, they're usually just starting out, so they have to get the cases under them.
Mm-hmm.
You see so many of them, and
my friend was the plaintiff, so it's like, ugh.
I actually knew somebody that was in a domestic violence situation.
Same. Yeah.
And then because of that situation, their child was taken, and then I know they could only see their kid twice a week for 2 hours per time. And this was a baby.
Right.
This was a baby that for, I think it was 6 months, they were pushing, even though, she did all the classes, she, separated herself from this guy for so long. And then all of a sudden awarded custody again, but all that time could only see her child for 4 hours a week.
Right. And the public defenders, sometimes they do their best and sometimes they don't. And sometimes it results in things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I get.
And it's really difficult.
It's gotta be a shitty job.
Yeah.
It's those situations.
It's a shitty job if you don't do it well, I would assume.
Nobody's ever gonna be happy to be around you. If you're a public defender, it means that this person is accused of something or has to deal with a situation that they don't want to be in.
Right.
No one ever goes to a public defender because life's going well. It really sucks. It just sucks all the way around. It's not like it's the person's fault or the public defender's fault.
Well, even with this the Casey Anthony thing, I'm just going to bring that back up for a second.
Yeah.
She actually has lived with her public defender for quite some time now.
That lawyer, the really old dude.
Yeah,
she's just a horrible person. Though, that there's very little comparisons. I don't like her.
No,
I really don't.
It's crazy, how they judge on, trying to find the truth and in proving their client innocent.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's very
crazy,
difficult all the way around, especially with someone like Casey. Yeah,
absolutely.
Fuck Casey Anthony, and I will say that publicly, and I don't give a fuck.
Agreed.
I think we'll leave it at that, though. We are over the hour, or over 8 o'clock. So as more comes up, obviously we'll retouch on it. But next week we're gonna go on a little more paranormal.
Yeah, actually, I wrote it down if we want to.
Let me know what's up.
All right, so January 12th is Mama by Andy Muschietti. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but we're going to get into that film. Mama scared the shit out of me in theaters, and we're going to talk about it.
Is this the Jennifer Lawrence Mama, or?
No.
This is a different one, right?
No, that was Mother.
Sorry.
I do love that film as well.
A good one.
Traumatizing, but amazing.
She said it traumatized her too.
Yeah, she said she'll never do a film like that ever again.
Don't blame her one bit. Sorry, I have that in my head.
Yeah, but yeah, next week, January 12th, we're going to talk about Mama, and that's an amazing paranormal film that we will get into. And then I'm not sure what Arizona has going on, but I'll make a post for you guys as I always do.
We will know tomorrow because Alex is traveling right now.
Okay.
Going back to Texas.
Okay.
Gosh dang, excuse me. Yeah, bro. I will know ASAP. That's what I'm trying to say.
And we'll let you know
yes.
ASAP.
All right, people. I'll have a good one, and I will go.
And thank you, Ashley, for joining us this evening.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hope this is the
enjoyed
first of
it.
many.
Yeah, it was very nice. But
yeah,
it's nice getting together and talking. Not a good
I know,
topic,
I haven't
but
seen you for years, so
it's
it was
a sad
good.
topic.
Yeah.
Very good to have you back on.
Thank you.
All right, people. You take care. We'll see you soon. And just lock your front door, I guess.
Bye, Goose.
Bye.